Basically, I was working for SwissRe, who'd acquired a company called Windsor Life, which was a vehicle for acquiring and running off life and pensions books. For the first 4 years, actually, we didn't use interims because we were doing a number of fairly small transactions to build the business. But then we did a major transaction with Aviva to take on the administration of about 2.5 million policies. And at that stage, it was clearly doubling the size of the business, taking the business to a multi-site operation with some offshoring. And we didn't have all the relevant skills, so we brought in, over time, 7 interim managers to help us in that, largely around the transformation side, but also in the HR side.
And you felt that the interim route was the way to go rather than a full-time appointment?
I'm a strong believer in a mixture of interim and full-time skills. The interim brings in those skills you don't need day to day, but you do need to deliver major projects. And so, yes, we bring them in, use them whilst we do the major project, they then move on.
Perhaps you could expand on that as well, because that's an interesting part of the interim role. So do you feel that the point of the interim as well, in part, is for their skills to rub off as well on the current workforce?
Oh, very much. You want them to pass their skills on. Generally, in my experience of interims, they are overqualified for what they do. That's the nature of an interim. They bring a lot of experience, a wide, diverse set of organisations, and therefore they can pass on their specific skills of this is how to do HR or this is how to do transformation, but equally pass on some general background knowledge about the other organisations and just broaden everybody's horizons. There was goals set up for the overall organisation. So the goal was that we migrated 2.8 million policies over a 2-year period. And we had a series of drops along the way. It would be unfair to say it all went perfectly, but I think that's a company issue as well as the interims issue. But I mean, over time, those migrations were delivered. And it's my understanding Aviva is very satisfied with that.
What were the lessons you felt had been learned from using the interims in that particular project?
It's the breadth of knowledge from outside. I mean, the organisation, to put it in context, Windsor Life had 300 people based in Telford and had gone through a major downsizing before it was acquired from SwissRe. So they'd lost quite a lot of skills and were, to a certain degree, a medium-sized to small company. Bringing the interims in very much brought the big company experience, because clearly dealing with Aviva is a very large, one of the 3rd or 4th largest life and pensions companies in the UK. So it brought those big company skills, if you will.
And what about the relationship with BIE in all of this? How key was that?
Well, absolutely key, and that's why I use BIE. I mean, apart from the fact that many years ago they found me some work when I first started, that their style of actually giving you one person they think can do the job with a couple of reserves, I think is a style I like. So they back themselves to give you the right guy rather than going to filing cabinet and giving you 16 names, work your way through them and decide who you want to talk to.
So you would use BIE again for future projects going forward?
Indeed, I've just recommended them somebody else to use, and I think most of the people who were exposed to them in SwissRe who've moved on are also talking to them or using them at some stage or other.